Supreme Court ruling. On the front page of the Daily Nation, a date with destiny. And on the front page of the Star newspaper, we will live to fight another day, says Raila. Well, let's take a look at what's making headlines on the Standard to begin with. And just before we get to judgment today, it is a happy or Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters as they celebrate Eid al-Adha. I do have a wonderful day right here from the Standard Group. But let's take a look at what's making headlines now. So it is judgment today as the Supreme Court, 14 days after the filing of the presidential petition, is expected to give a ruling as to whether they will validate or invalidate the re-election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. On the front page of the Standard is Raila's case there because the Supreme Court judges will be guided by 5 key issues formed by NASA's legal team, which forms the backbone of the petition challenging President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election. We'll be discussing these 5 pointers in our discussion at about 7 a.m. But just in passing, part of Raila's case forming this defense here is that he claims that Wafula Chebukati announced the final presidential results without 11,000 forms 34A, and that some of the forms submitted were forgeries. Raila Odinga here also argues that the election was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the Election Act, including having party agents sign result forms. Remember, the opposition there says that in some polling stations, the agents were turned away and denied an opportunity to sign those forms. Raila Odinga also says that President Uhuru Kenyatta violated provisions of the Elections Act by threatening public offices and using cabinet secretaries to campaign for him. Fourth on the list, Raila Odinga claims IEBC used ungazetted polling stations and returning officers during the election, of course, further putting into question the credibility and the integrity of the entire electoral system. And finally, questions as to whether IEBC complied with the provisions of Election Regulation 10 of 2017 with regard to technology and if the elections were fully electronic. So we'll be waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on these 5 issues. There is a lot of pressure mounting for all the 7 judges to give a detailed ruling of this petition, a far cry from the situation in 2013 where Chief Justice Willie Mutunga pretty much read a paragraph on behalf of all the 7 judges. The 7 judges, as we speak, have retreated to an unknown, secluded destination where they are drafting this particular ruling. And so we'll be waiting. The exact time is not known yet, but we continue waiting on that. That story continues on page 4 of the paper. Long wait ends as Supreme Court